Welcome everyone to Martinsville Speedway. We are live here for round 37 of the 2023 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season, hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5. We're coming to an end here. We are in the second to last race, and tonight we find out who the final four contenders really are for the championship heading into Phoenix. We know that Aiden Cody has his win and he's locked in. We know that Aaron Garcia has his win and he is locked in. We're looking to find out here who holds on to those final four spots. Landon Jenkins coming into this race with a 22-point cushion over the cutoff line. The primary eyes were, most eyes were primarily on the number 9 of Josh Colm-Diaz, Jordan Roughton in the 8 car, Trey Hollywood in the 20, who is in a must-win situation. There's a lot of drama and a lot on the line here today at Martinsville. Stage 1 is in the history books. Aaron Garcia in the 24 car, the pole winner for this race, was able to go lap for lap and lead every single one of them at Stage 1 along his way to the Stage 1 victory. And just behind him there, you see Connor Brown in the 78 car. He was able to finish second in Stage 1. That's 9 points for him. He came into this race 7 points below the cut line. Landon Jenkins finished in third. And with those 8 points in Stage 1, it pretty much secures him mathematically by points a spot in the final four. It's going to come down to the drivers of the 78 and the 9 car for the time being for that last final four spot. I am NOSSCAR CEO and founder Tyler McMurder, along with no in-race reporter here this evening. Sorry, it's a reflex to cue in Alex Tesdall, the driver of the 17, but I'm riding solo here tonight. Kick back, relax, grab a cold can of soda, and enjoy the show. 16 cars on the racetrack. We are working Stage 2, and I believe that we had 12 cars on the lead lap at the beginning here of this stage. We had a caution right near the end of Stage 1, and we had a restart with 3 laps to go in Stage 1 to figure out who was going to get the top 10, the stage points. And that allowed a couple of cars that had a bit of a bad start to this race to get a free pass under those 2 cautions. Jordan Roughton in the 8 car, and then Dustin Franklin as well in the 3. And after the stage points there, the shuffle from Stage 1, looking at the point standings as they run, Jordan Roughton getting closer and closer to being in a must-win situation. We know that Trey Hollywood in the 20 car is in a must-win situation as soon as the green flag waved, and Dustin Franklin in the 3. If he does not get a substantial amount of points in stage number 2, he will mathematically be in a must-win situation once the final stage begins as well. So a lot of these drivers, their hopes at a final 4 spot at Phoenix kind of going up in smoke in front of them unless they're able to kind of get a surge of speed and drive their way to the front. It's going to be tough to do here today, and primarily because of this man right here, Aaron Garcia. 14 wins this season. Been the dominant force of 2023. Missed out on the Platinum Cup Championship last year to Matt Smith. Matt Smith, of course, last year becoming a 3-time NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, second driver to do so. Aaron Garcia looking to stamp his name in the champions list here for the Platinum Cup Series for the very first time this year, and he's the favorite to do so. And a change for second place, Landon Jenkins, there you see, goes to the inside of Connor Brown. They are teammates at Bold Pluto Racing. 4 drivers from that team advanced to the playoffs this year. One of them narrowly missing it. Excuse me, check that, actually, all 5 cars, actually, full-time cars made the playoffs this year, and their 1 part-time entry narrowly missing the playoffs. And a lot of pressure now on Josh Colm-Diaz. He did not get as many points as Connor Brown in stage number 1. Finished 7th in stage 1. Connor, of course, finishing 2nd. 5-point difference. And with a 7-point cushion coming into this race, that puts him only 2 points above the cut line. But as they run, if they were to finish stage 2 where they are running right now, he would actually be below that final 4 cut line. He's going to need to do something to get a couple of spots here on the racetrack before the end of stage 2. For example, Connor Brown running in 3rd right now. If Josh can finish in 5th, that's only a 2-point difference, and then they would be tied going in to the final stage at Martinsville, and Josh might be able to get him on long runs. You never really know, and we haven't really had that chance yet in this race. The 2 stages here are going to be short. First stage, I believe, was about 68 or 62 laps. And this one a little bit shorter, and then we're going to let them loose for a long run where they're going to need to make a pit stop under green flag conditions if we don't get a caution. Aaron Garcia continues to lead. Put a lap now on Timmy Brown in the 13 car, who announced earlier this season that this would be his last full-time campaign in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series. Made the playoffs this year, was eliminated in the round of 16. And the battle for second continues. It's Connor Bullhue in the number 19 Toyota running in 4th. Josh Colombiez has now worked his way up to 5th. And we have a caution on the racetrack. I was checking something about the point standings, and there's heavy damage to the 8 car of Jordan Roughton and the 17 of Alex Tesdall. There's a good look at Jordan's car. He's going to need to pit to repair that machine. I think a lot of these cars are going to pit anytime a caution comes out. There's not too many cars on the racetrack tonight compared to most nights. A lot of them electing to not start in this race, simply stay off the track and let the drivers battle it out for those final 4 spots. So I think everyone's going to pit, but I think more time is going to need to be spent on pit road for the drivers of the 8, the drivers of the 17. They're going to need to fix those race cars. Front row is going to look like this. Aaron Garcia, Landon Jenkins, arguably the top 2 drivers all season long. Green flag in the air. We're back underway here in stage 2. Not such a great restart for Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18 or Connor Brown in the 78. They both lost a tremendous amount of track position there. Connor Bullhue emerges to 3rd. Dustin Franklin is up to 4th in the 3 car. It's the highest he's run all race long. And a crash deep in the field that involved Ethan Hoekstra in the 51, Alex Tesdall in the 17, and we are under caution again here at Martinsville. 3rd time of the race for an on-track incident, the 2nd time here in stage 2. And the pressure is building up higher and higher here. The anticipation is building. These stage points mean a lot here, especially to the round of 8 drivers, and a lot of anxiety to get to the front as quick as they possibly can, and I think that's what's causing all of these incidents here, or at least these couple of incidents back to back. I shouldn't say incidents. It hasn't turned into a complete brawl yet here, but we've seen 2 quick cautions for 2 pretty big incidents, and we're hoping it settles down a little bit and these guys can get back to racing. You can see the running order has changed a little bit, especially outside the top 5. Repairs have had to have been made, and a lot of cars back on the lead lap now due to the free pass award at the end of each caution. The green flag is back in the air, and now they're coming out of turn 2. Aaron Garcia has the lead. Landon Jenkins still right there, but he's under fire from Connor Bullhue in the 19, who's got the preferred line here, who's looking for 2nd, trying to spoil the party for the playoff drivers. Connor came into the season late, therefore did not make the playoffs. Found victory lane once already here during the playoff stretch as a non-playoff driver. Trying to do it again. Dustin Franklin in the 3 got a little bit out of shape there in 3 and 4. Gave up a spot to Connor Brown, but was able to use the launch from the outside line to keep Jordan Roughton in the 8 car behind him. So much action on the track, I'm getting tongue-tied a little bit. They are 2 and 3 wide, all the way from about 5th back to 12th, still trying to sort this all out. Josh Colombiez gets a good run to the inside of Ethan Hoekstra in the 51 car. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. just in front of them. Here's Aiden Cody trying to take a look underneath Jordan Roughton in the 8. That is 2 round of 8 drivers. The difference is Aiden in the 53 locked into the Final Four with his big win at Texas. Connor Bolhue up here in 3rd, trying to... He took over the position for a moment there for about 3 or 4 laps, and now has given back the position to Landon Jenkins in the 77, who now tries to set his sights on the race leader, Aaron Garcia, but he's got about 12, 13 car lengths in between the two as they run. The length of the back straightaway, in fact, so it might be a little bit more. Aaron's really fast and strong here so far for the Paperclip 500. Looking to win both stages. Connor Brown running 4th. Dustin Franklin running 5th. It's all about stage points at this juncture for the round of 8 drivers. And Trey Hollywood in the 20, he's in a must-win situation. Stage points don't necessarily matter much to him, but he's got to advance his way up the leaderboard to get close and to get within striking distance of winning this race. Josh Colombiez in the 9 needs every stage point he can possibly get. He's trying to battle point for point with the 78 of Connor Brown. And there's Connor running in the 4th position. And Josh Colombiez is running in 6th. They were separated by 8 points coming into tonight's event. Jordan Roughton was the one that was coming in 7 points behind the cut line. I was mixing their points up earlier, but as they run, it's a 3-point advantage for Connor Brown. Excuse me, a 3-point advantage for Josh Colombiez, but if they finish the way they are running here in stage 2, it's only going to be a 1-point advantage for the 9 car heading into the final stage for that very last Final Four spot at Phoenix. Landon Jenkins, 3rd in the point standings coming into tonight's event. If he can finish in 2nd here in stage 2, which is where he is running, he will mathematically lock himself into the Final Four and won't have to worry at all about his result in the final stage. There's Aiden Cody. Remember, his Texas win locks him into the Final Four. He does not need to worry about points, which is great for him, because if he still needed to worry about points, he only would have had a 7-point advantage above the Final Four cut line coming into this race. And though he has run great in this event, he's had to come from the back to the front a couple of different times. And everybody is very evenly matched, and the passes are not easy to make. So you never know what can happen here at Martinsville. It's always a wild card event, and it's always the last race before the championship event. Always makes for some good drama. And Timmy Brown in the 13 car is on pit road. Doesn't look like anything's happening. I don't see anybody working on that car. Looks like he is done for the day here at Martinsville. Now Rush Downing in the 7 car with a problem, and Landon Jenkins, his team owner, came up on him at a very bad spot. Contact might have even been made. Connor Bolhue surges forward with 2nd place. The 7 car stays on the racetrack. I thought he was going to come to pit road, but we stay green. But a couple of cars with problems. Timmy Brown out of the race. Rush Downing, heavy damage to the front end of that car, having to let the leaders go by on the outside. Now lets Jeffrey Robinson Jr. go by on the inside. But we stay green. Aaron Garcia in the 24 continuing to lead. There he is with a huge lead. That's what it looks like. Back to the 19 of Connor Bullhue. Not a playoff driver. There's Landon Jenkins running in third. He is one of our round of 8 playoff drivers. And if he finishes third, he's locked into the final 4 if he finishes third here in stage 2. Gets those 8 points. Connor Brown scored in 4th. Dustin Franklin scored in 5th. And a great effort here for Dustin. He's going to get 6 points here in stage 2 if he can hold on for a little longer. And it's not going to put him above the cut line by any means. He came into this race 14 points below the cut line, and he didn't score any stage points in stage 1. Excuse me, check that. He scored 5 points out of stage 1. So he's still looking at about a 13-point difference below the cut line, because Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car scored stage points in stage 1 as well. So even with a 5th or a 6th place points here, finish here in stage 2, Dustin Franklin in that 3 car going to be in a must-win situation in the final stage, I do believe. And now he loses 5th place to Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9. And Josh had a problem a couple of cautions ago, but had to start at the back of the field. And since then has worked his way all the way back inside the top 5. A big wiggle there for Connor Bullhue. 2nd place car coming out of one of the corners there. These cars beginning to get a little bit loose. The longer the run goes, these tires heat up hot. Pardon me. These tires heat up hotter and hotter, and they wear out as well. So these cars are going to really slide around, especially on corner exit. We just saw Ethan Hoekstra, the 51 car, get up and inside the outside wall. The 2 former NOSSCAR Novice Cup Series champions are side-by-side for position inside the top 10. Alex Tesdall going to take that position. Alex was eliminated in the round of 12 here in the playoffs. Just coming out here now for bragging rights, trying to get top 5s, top 10s, maybe get a win if all things go his way. Finished 9th in stage 1. And he's been on the lead lap all race long, in contention for this thing. And the leader coming up on lap traffic for the first time in stage 2. He encountered it quite a bit here in stage 1. Navigated his way all the way up to only having 9 cars on the lead lap for that caution right near the end of stage 1. So we had 11 on the lead lap, 11 or 12 with wave rounds and so forth for the beginning of this stage here in stage 2. Oh, and we have a spin right in front of the leader there. That was Ethan Hoekstra in the 51. And now the leader was able to get by, and I think we're still green. A couple of cars right in front of your race leader in danger of going 1 lap down. That includes the 8th car of Jordan Roughton, who is in a must-win situation if he doesn't score any stage points here in stage 2, and it's not looking like he's going to do so. And not only him, but Aiden Cody in the 53 as well. And now Aiden drops a spot, and now he is the next car in front of your race leader in danger of going 1 lap down. And that is the end of stage 2 right there. Aaron Garcia is going to win it. Looks like it's going to be Connor Brown finishing in 2nd. That's big for him. Landon Jenkins finishes in 3rd. Josh Colm-Diaz is keeping it interesting. He's going to finish in 4th. So this means that it is only a 1-point advantage for Josh Colm-Diaz heading into the final stage for that very last spot in the final 4. Landon Jenkins has mathematically locked himself into the final 4 based on points. It's all about that last spot. And in order for anyone else other than Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car and Connor Brown in the 78 car to advance into that spot, they're going to need to win it. That includes Trey Hollywood in the 20, Jordan Roughton in the 8, Dustin Franklin in the 3. All three of them now in a must-win situation in what is going to be a wild final stage here at Martinsville. Green flag is in the air. Aaron Garcia, Connor Brown, the front row, leading him into turn 1. 3 wide for about 7th on back. And you guys saw at the end of stage 2 that Jordan Roughton was able to stay on the lead lap, but now he's got problems. He just hit the wall coming out of turn 2, and I think Ethan Hoekstra in the 51 car did as well, and we are under caution here at Martinsville. That's going to save Jordan, because sometimes when we see only 1 or 2 cars get involved in an incident, the caution does not come out, and those 1 or 2 cars have a lot of catching up to do, and sometimes they don't end up recovering. Ethan Hoekstra with some damage as well. He will need to come to pit road. Aaron Garcia, Connor Brown, Landon Jenkins, Josh Colm-Diaz, Trey Hollywood, your top 5 before pit stops. Dustin Franklin, Aiden Cody, Connor Bullhue, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Ethan Hoekstra. The rest of your top 10. 16 cars started this race. We have 13 cars left on the racetrack, and I believe we have 12 of them still on the lead lap with a shot to win this race. As you can see, some pit strategy has been deployed. Aaron Garcia, for the first time in this race, no longer your race leader. Dustin Franklin, in the must-win situation, takes the race lead for this restart. We are green again here at Martinsville in the final stage. And we're under caution just as quick as we go under green. Jordan Roughton involved again in an incident. Some front-end damage to his machine. I didn't see what happened. It must have been deep in the field. I don't know what happened. The 51 car is now off the track. It appears to be done for the day, which means 12 cars left on the racetrack. No damage to Rush Downing in the 7. Very interesting. I didn't see what happened there at all. Jordan Roughton, the one with the biggest amount of damage out of the incident. There you see him. He's in a must-win situation, along with the 20 of Trey Hollywood and the 3 of Dustin Franklin. Aiden Cody's going to take over the race lead. Dustin Franklin's got the 2nd position. He's on the front row. Aaron Garcia, the strongest car all race long, going to restart in 3rd. We are green again at Martinsville. Let's see how we do. Much smoother restart so far. Aiden Cody's going to emerge with the lead in the 53s, locked into the final 4 with his big win at Texas. Aaron Garcia in the 24, running in 2nd now, trying to get back the lead that he's pretty much held all race long. Landon Jenkins in 3rd. Dustin Franklin in the must-win situation is in 4th. Big problem there for Alex Tesdall in the 17. He went up into the outside wall in turn 1, but gave a position to Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9. And the battle for the lead is on. Aiden Cody blocking and trying to hold on to the bottom and force Aaron Garcia to take the outside line for the race lead. And it's actually keeping the 24 at bay for now, but if he gets a good run out of one of these corners, expect that 24 to poke the nose underneath the 53, maybe even use the front bumper. Landon Jenkins taking a look now, and now Aaron Garcia in the 24 having to play a little bit of defense while trying to find a way around the 53 and take the lead. There's the big run I was talking about. It comes out of turn 2. He's got a nose to the bottom of the 53, moves him up the track a little bit, or forces him to have to drive into the corner hard and go up the track. And they were door handle to door handle when they crossed the line. The lap lead still went to the 53 of Aiden Cody, rather. And now the Earnhardt crossover moved Aiden Cody back to the inside, trying to keep the 24 behind him. This lap is going to go to Aaron Garcia in the 24. He tried to clear Aiden Cody for the lead. Couldn't quite do it. There might have been contact. The 24 went way up the hill, lost the lead back, and now has the 77 of Landon Jenkins under him, looking for second. And a strong run from the outside line. Aaron Garcia is going to clear the 77 of Landon Jenkins, gets back to the bumper of the 53. This is great stuff. Not too far behind them. Still Dustin Franklin running in 4th, Connor Brown running in 5th, Trey Hollywood 6th, Connor Bolhue in 7th, Josh Colm-Diaz runs in 8th, and as they run, I believe as they run, Connor Brown is in by 2 points, but now it's going to be only 1 point as Trey Hollywood gets around the 78. Trey looking to drive all the way to the front. He is in a must-win situation here tonight at Martinsville. Around went Dustin Franklin in the 3 car. I didn't see how, but he was up there running in 4th. He might have caught the apron because I don't think he had anybody in front of him or immediately behind him. We're still green. We're 3 wide here for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th on your screens. And 3 of the 4 are round of 8 drivers. Connor Brown in the 78, Trey Hollywood in the 20. The 19 of Connor Bolhue and Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9. Oh, and Trey Hollywood got hung up on the outside. He had the position taken away from Connor Brown, but then eventually got hung up on the outside, loses those positions, but best believe he'll be back as they run. Connor Brown in 4th, Josh Colm-Diaz in 5th, and those 78 and 9 cars. They are now, as of right now, tied for that very last Final 4 spot as they run. If they were to finish 4th and 5th, right now, the way that they are, it would be a dead tie. The tiebreaker is the best finish in the round, and we would need to go back and double check which driver has the best finish in the round. It might even be this 4th place finish here by Connor Brown in the 78. Don't know. We would have to go look. And Jordan Roughton appears to be off the racetrack and done for the day. This leaves 11 cars on the racetrack and one of a round of 8 drivers coming into this thing in a must-win situation after the points shuffle anyways throughout Stage 1 and Stage 2. Finds himself off the racetrack and done for the day. A lot of attrition in this race and a lot of open space. Right now on Martinsville Speedway's surface, Aaron Garcia leads. Aiden Cody in the 53 running in 2nd. Both of them came in as the only 2 guaranteed drivers into the Final 4. Since then, with the Stage 2 and Stage 1 points for Landon Jenkins, finishing 3rd in both stages. and getting a total of 16 points from the stages. He is mathematically locked in to the Final Four at Phoenix. The one spot remaining is being contested right here between Connor Brown in the 78 and Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9. As they run, if they were to finish 4th and 5th, it would be a dead tie. The tiebreaker is the best finish in the round. And they continue to go at it for this position with Connor Bullhue in the 19 car running in 6th, right behind him with a front row seat for the best battle on the racetrack. Trey Hollywood is the one running in 7th in the 20 car. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18 scored in 8th. Dustin Franklin in the 3 running in 9th. The 20 in the 3 running 7th and 9th. They're in a must-win situation. Maybe going to need a caution to catch back up. It's Alex Tesdall in the 17 rounding out the top 10. And the one remaining car after that that's left on the racetrack and still running in this race after 16 starting is Rush Downing in the 7, scored in 11th position. And we're all chasing the 24. And Josh has lost the position now to Connor Bullhue in the 19. He has taken 5th away, so if they were to finish where they're running right now, the 78 would be in by 1 point. It's come down to that. We're going to see some green flag pit stops, I think, if they continue to run green, and if we see no caution. Strong run here so far. Solid day for Jeffrey Robinson Jr. He's kept that number 18 Toyota on the lead lap all race long. Can't confirm where he finished in stage 2, but I know he finished 5th in stage 1. And although he did not advance to the round of 8 and was eliminated in the round of 12, he's still going to finish this season strong and looking like he's going to get a spot in the top 10 in the final standings. He's currently 2nd in the point standings on Wednesday nights in the NOSSCAR Legend Series in those next-gen Cup cars. Doing really well in those, and doing really well here today as well so far at Martinsville, running in 8th. We have 80 laps to go here in round 37 of the 2023 NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series season. We're rocking and rolling here for the Paperclip 500 at Martinsville. We're in the final stage. Aaron Garcia in the 24 car is your race leader. He's led the most laps here today. He's clinched that as well, and if there was a bonus point for that, he would have many of those added up and accumulated throughout the season, that is for sure. Taking a break from commentary for a moment, you're watching NOSSCAR at Martinsville on NASCAR Heat 5 Live here on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. And as you've seen during our commentary break there, a number of these drivers coming in for those scheduled green flag pit stops, and all of them now able to make the distance on the fuel and tires that they have. When it all cycles through, it's going to be the 24 car back out front, but as of right now, it's actually the 3 car of Dustin Franklin leading the race. He is in a must-win situation, and he's the one that's pacing the field right now. And as you can see, he's going to surrender the lead and come to pit road, this time by pit road entrance over at the entrance to turn 3. We were able to double check the results from the rest of the races here in the round of 8, and we were able to determine who would win the tiebreaker for the final 4 spot, the last final 4 spot between Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 and Connor Brown in the 78. And we have determined, based on the second place finish by Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 at Kansas, the first race here in the round of 8, he would be the one given the final 4 spot if this came down to a tiebreaker. So Josh finishes 1 spot behind Connor Brown here in the final stage here at the end of this race. He would get that tiebreaker and advance to the final 4. He's made the final 4 2 times in his NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series career. Connor Brown in the 78 looking to advance to the final 4 for the very first time. And also what is his first full-time season here in the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series. He's been very impressive this year, 2 wins. Total of 18 playoff points racked up in his total. Leading the Rookie of the Year standings. Sorry, I was going over a couple of notes here and just trying to figure out what everybody's strategy might be. We know that Aaron Garcia in the 24 car has retaken the race lead. Everything has completely cycled through, but somehow the 77 is right in front of him along with the 19 car. I don't know if it was a pit road speeding penalty or what exactly did it, but they are in danger of going 1 lap down, it appears, in this race. We can tell you that Josh Colm-Diaz is up here running in the 6th position. Just in front of Alex Tesdall and just in front of Dustin Franklin. And major contact there between the 77 and the 19. That was all happening right in front of your race leader. Aaron trying to put a lap on both of them. And now he gets a little out of shape coming out of turn 2. He came down into the side of the 19. Contact between all 3 of them there. It looked like Connor Bullhue got into the back of the 77, Landon Jenkins, and then he went up the hill and into the side of the 24. Aaron Garcia is now going to safely work his way past both of these cars and put them 1 lap down. I can't believe that they are stuck 1 lap down in this race. There's Connor Brown. He's behind the 18 and the 20. I know that I know that Connor Brown is on the lead lap. The 18 and the 20, they're battling for 7th and 8th. They are both 1 lap down. The 24 car of Aaron Garcia is actually coming up on both of these drivers. The 78, Connor Brown, able to work his way to the inside of Trey Hollywood. Again, he is a lead lap car. Trey Hollywood in the 20, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18, both 1 lap down, battling for 7th and 8th. It's been a wild, blistering pace that the leaders have been able to put on here today. Primarily out of the 24 and the 78. And Connor Brown running in 3rd is the word we're getting. He is the last car on the lead lap. The top three are scored on the lead lap. Landon Jenkins runs in fourth in the 77, and the 19 of Connor Bullhue running in fifth. They are the first two cars off the lead lap. There they are, fourth and fifth. Josh Colombiez in the 9 car scored in sixth. So if they were to finish where they're running right here and now, it would be Connor Brown in the 78 taking that last Final Four spot. Contact there for the fourth position, Landon Jenkins and Connor Bullhue. That's allowing Josh Colombiez to gain some ground, I'm sure. And if he can run down both of these cars and pass them both, then he advances to the Final Four instead, because he would get the tiebreaker. Oh, and Alex Tesdall with a problem there right in front of Josh. Josh is able to get to the inside, but it wasn't without contact. And there he goes. If I'm not mistaken, it's Aiden Cody in the 53 car scored in second. He is the one of 3 cars on the lead lap, and we have 18 laps to go for your race leader, Aaron Garcia. There was a lot of cars on the lead lap before the beginning of the cycle of green flag pit stops, and then at the end of it we find ourselves now with only 3 cars on the lead lap. Connor Brown in the 78, the last one on the lead lap. And now the drivers running 7th and 8th, I believe, are 2 laps down now. Now Dustin Franklin in the 3 car runs in 9th, and he's 2 laps down. Aiden Cody right there running in 2nd. He's on the lead lap. Josh Colombiez runs in 6th. He's 1 lap down. So there's right here in this group of 4 cars, there's 4 different drivers with completely different agendas, completely different notebooks, and a completely different way that their final stage has went for them. Alex Tesdall 2 laps down in 10th, so that was not a pass for position. The next car that would be a battle for position with Josh Colombiez in the 9 would be the 20 of Trey Hollywood, who scored in 7th, but is about half the track behind him. So Josh is not really in danger of losing any more positions, but he's not really, but at the same time, he's not really in a position where he's able to gain anything either. It's a long way ahead to Landon Jenkins in the 77 car. It's about the length of a full straightaway. And Josh needs 2 more positions in order to get himself in a tiebreaker scenario with Connor Brown, and then he would get that last Final Four spot. No drama though for Aaron Garcia in the 24, who continues to lead this race. He won at Kansas, and he also had so many playoff points coming into this round that as long as he had a decent day at Kansas, then he was going to pretty much mathematically lock up one of those Final Four spots. But he ended up going on out there and winning it, not having to worry at all about Texas or about today's wild card event here at Martinsville. Always a wild place to go for the final race before the Final Four. It's a place where a lot of pushing and shoving can happen, a lot of drama can happen. We've seen it all here today. We've seen long runs, we've seen short runs, we've seen a rash of crashes in stage 2, and then they kind of settled in here in the final stage. Went for a long run. Green flag pit stops occurred for the first time in this race here in the final stage, but it's simply because they don't need to pit under green for fuel or tires in stage 1. The stages are so short, so we see a whole different kind of racing once we begin the final stage. It's been action-packed since the beginning. And there was contact a little bit there between Landon Jenkins and the 77, Trey Hollywood in the 20. Not a battle for position. Landon running in 5th. 1 lap down. Trey Hollywood scored in the 7th position, 2 laps down, and now contact there between A.B. Cody in the 53 and Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 18 car. And now Jeffrey was stopped up against the outside wall as a result of that. We're going to stay green, it looks like. We're still rolling here. He's going to get it going again, but he was right in front of the leaders when he got it going again, so he had to check up and go high, let them go, veteran move. I'm sure he's not happy. He's now scored in 10th, a total of 3 laps down. Rush Downing going to bring the 7 car to pit road. He has scored in 11th, a number of laps down in this race. Connor Brown in 3rd, still trying to hold on to the lead lap. He's just in front of your race leader. There you see him. And if he finishes 3rd where he runs, he knows, I'm sure by now, that he advances to the final 4 if he can just hold on. Coming into today's race, he knew that he needed stage points, and he knew that he needed to beat that 9 car. Came in 8 points below the cut line, and after Jordan Roughton had problems, he knew that it was basically just himself that could point his way in, and that Dustin Franklin and Trey Hollywood would need to win this race to advance. 2nd in both stages for Connor Brown. 7th and 4th in the stages, respectfully, for Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 car. And Connor Brown found himself only 1 point below Josh coming into the final stage. And there might have been a problem there for Connor Brown coming out of the final corner there. Nope, that's the end of the race, folks. Checkered flag is in the air. Aaron Garcia wins the Paperclip 500 at Martinsville. There's a bit of a parking lot over at the entrance to Turn 1. Aiden Cody, Connor Brown, Connor Bullhue, Landon Jenkins, the rest of your top 5. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 finishes in 6th. And this means Connor Brown advances to the final 4 by 2 points. It's the first time in 3 years Josh Colm-Diaz in the 9 is not going to advance to the final 4. Your final 4 drivers: Aaron Garcia in the 24, Aiden Cody in the 53, Landon Jenkins in the 77, and Connor Brown in the 78. 3 Bull Pluto racing cars, 1 Timac Motorsports car. It's all coming your way later tonight at Phoenix International Raceway, here live on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. Come back at about 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to witness history, the 8th annual NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series season coming to an end. Here tonight we will crown a champion for 2023. We'll see you in just a little bit, and until then, thank you for joining us, and stay fast, folks.